Hey there, welcome everyone to Movement Yoga. Kathy, my wife and I do these every so often, mostly every week on Thursday mornings. 9 a.m. West Coast, 12 p.m. East Coast. You can figure out the rest of it. Bristol, England is 5 p.m.
I believe so.
Our son's over in Bristol playing rugby. We're so excited, hopefully, to get over and see him, and maybe we'll do a broadcast from there. Anyway, if you'd like to see anything specifically, it's a yoga practice. Put it in the comments, and we'll try to get to it. Most probably we will get to it because not a lot of people do that. So, anyway, are you ready, Kathy?
I'm ready.
Come on up.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like I'm going to The Price is Right.
Yes. All right. Anything you'd like to work on this morning, Kathy?
I'm kind of right now have to be sitting a lot, and so trying to figure out posture sitting and getting up.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do a lot of seated poses on this particular event.
But just more like, movement between seating and non-seating, so just movement.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a chair.
Oh no, I don't think we need a
I would,
chair.
just a couple suggestions, try to get up and sit down without using your hands on your desk.
That's what I was thinking.
Using that
Exactly,
engagement.
core.
Yeah. The chair pose, which
Yeah.
we do. Chair pose, do a lot of those.
So alignment while we're in chair pose.
Okay. Pretty much flat back, knees over toes. It's not too hard. You can make these things super hard, and you can kind of keep it simple. All right. Anyway, let's bring hands on hips. Let's march it from side to side, giving a little kick. Looking up your legs, enjoying the morning, enjoying your body. And we'll start to go smaller on that as we stay mostly grounded through the feet. And then staying grounded through the feet as we rock it from side to side. And then finding your center. From this place, let's rock it front to back as we lift heels and lift toes. Just keeping our balance. Notice how your core kicks in. And when you sit down and get up from a chair, you want to feel that engagement in that low belly. Now staying grounded through the toes, grounded through the heels as you rock it front to back. And then finding your center. From here, circling the circumference of the feet. Knees aren't locked, but we're not bending the knees a lot. It's mostly just straight legs. And then taking those circles the other way. And then finding your center. So making a choice. In the morning, a good choice is to keep your feet nice and wide. As you start to tune in, finding more of your balance, you might choose to narrow your stance to challenge and engage that center. So from our feet, finding our legs, from our legs, finding our spine. Long through all sides of the neck with a soft tuck of the chin. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. Starting our practice this morning, watching as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From a place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow breath in, followed by an equally long, slow breath out. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to bring the air to the top of your chest, the base of your belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. As you breathe out, I'll invite you to engage your core as you draw the low belly in and up, concurrently lifting the kidneys in and up, squeezing a little more air out, most importantly providing structural support with that abdominal engagement on the exhalation for your low back as we move through these shapes and sequences, almost like putting on a weight belt from the inside. To this deeper, fuller breath, moving toward the go-to breath in many flow practices, the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath, slightly constricting the base of your throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice, often compared to the sounds of the ocean as the waves wash in and out. Last two details before we start to connect breath to movement. I'll invite you to take the tip of your tongue to the hard palate just behind the teeth, keeping that tongue loop throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, a Mona Lisa smile opening up the front of your throat, so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, lifting the chin tall through the crown, I'll invite you to roll your hands over as we bring our hands by our side. Moving towards Sun Salé, taking it in pieces. First, working arms and shoulders as we inhale the arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling arms back down. 2 more times, observing the natural rhythm of the shoulders as the arms elevate, shoulders elevate. As the arms descend, the shoulders descend. 1 more like this, breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling arms down. Now adding a forward fold, half sun salutation, inhaling arms up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as we fold. Take a breath to arc the back. You might choose to use bricks. Hands could always cap the knees. On the exhale, folding again as we round the spine. Either lowering the bricks or hands catch the back of the shins. Inhaling, moving towards a flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. 2 more times like this, breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, folding. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as we fold again. Feel the stretch. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. 1 more time like this. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, folding. Take a breath to find length. Keeping that length as we fold. Inhaling, finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun salutation A. I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy. You can put those bricks wherever you'd like. It looks like you're towards the front of the frame. All good. You want to grab some water. It's a hot day here in San Francisco. All right. So finding your stance. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as you ground on down and having a choice, either finding down dog and holding or cycling through vinyasa, your choice. Yeah, so feel free to hold that down dog. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to walk your dog as you bend one leg deeply and then the other. Maybe adding a little sway of the shoulders, a little shake of the head, whatever feels right and good for you. Finding that feeling body connection. How does it feel? What feels tight? What feels right? What feels somewhere in between? From this place of movement, I'll invite you to move back towards relative stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. Despite the lack of overt movement, you're still breathing. Your heart's still beating, your mind's still moving from thought to thought. And by focusing on your breath as it flows in and out, finding a little more space between each breath, each beat of the heart, each thought, and breathing into that space. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little bit higher, finding a little more space in the low back, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump from. Take a breath to find length when you arrive, arcing the back. On the exhale, arching the spine as you fold. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Second one, much like the first, this time I'll ask you to do vinyasa. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. Not chair, not yet. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. I know you want that chair.
No,
Take a breath to arc the back.
my mind is doing that thing, moving thoughts.
And then arching the spine as you ground on down, this time keeping the elbows soft as you find a push-up with or without the knees. Inhaling into your back bend, shoulder blades back and down, and then rolling over the toes or using the knees to get back to down dog. Other choices might be all fours. You might also choose a child's pose. Always balancing your effort with your ease. Wherever you choose to work, either holding the pose in stillness, seeing what might come up, or adding a little swing, a little sway, stirring up the pot, adding a little more flavor to your practice. Wherever you chose to work, Coming back to down dog, coming back to a place of stillness, and watching as your breath flows in and out. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands, and either stepping or jumping at front. Take a breath to find length when you ride. Hands can cap the knees as we arc the back. Exhaling, arching the spine as we fold. Inhaling, hands over head pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's jump right into Sun Sal B as we find that chair. Inhaling, knees over toes, hands over head. Flow style, exhaling, taking it lower, more strength in your legs. On the inhale, rising on up, finding a back bend at the top, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length. Keeping that length as you ground down, and making your way back to down dog as you will. Nice yoga push-up. Yoga style, the push-ups, the elbows are super close to the ribs. It's a little harder, but a little safer if you do a lot of them for your elbows. Flow style, feet together, right leg high, high on the left toes as we stretch out Achilles tendon and calf. And then looking between the hands as you pitch that leg even higher. And then sweeping right foot through, spinning the back heel down, back leg long, back leg strong, arms out to the side, and then over head warrior one. And then riding the breath back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. Second side when you're ready. Feet together, left leg high, high on the right toes. Looking between the hands, pitching that leg even higher, and then sweeping that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead warrior one. And then riding the breath back to low lunge, and from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa, or stretching straight back, your choice. As we hold down dog or any other shape you've chosen, coming back to somber 50, same breath. Long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. In down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length in your ride, arcing the back. On the exhale, arching the spine as you fold. On the inhale, finding your flat back, knees over toes, chair pose, back of the head in line with the sacrum, beautiful. Taking it lower, exhaling. On the inhale, rising on up, engaging your glutes to support a back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by your side. I'll ask you to face camera as we bring hands back to our heart. Lining up our fingers, a light press of your thumb against your sternum, relaxed shoulders, a soft tuck of the chin. Watching as our breath flows in. And watching as our breath flows out. And lifting the chin tall through the crown, I'll invite you to roll your hands over as we bring our hands by our side. I'll ask you to go sideways again, Kathy. Sun Salutation C. Extended standing pose sequence. Inhaling into your chair, that's it. Exhaling, taking it lower, more strength in your legs. On the inhale, rising on up, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length as we arc the back. Now arching the spine as we fold again and grounding on down and making your way back to down dog as you take your time, find your flow. All right, flow style. Feet together, right leg high, high on the left toes. Finding a dragon dog as you bring knee to nose, nose to knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale it back up 2 more times. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up, take your time. Exhale it forward and hold for the inhale. And then lots of core engagement as you step that foot as far front as you can get it, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead warrior one. From here, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips, either keeping your stance just as it is or lengthening your stance as you shift weight onto the front foot and scoot that back foot back. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front, front hip back, back hip front. Now finding 4 fingers on the tip of a thumb, forming a little bird beak here. Stretching out our wrists as we try to touch the front of our wrists. Bringing those bird beaks onto our shoulders, elbows wide to the side as we circle one shoulder and then the other. Warming up our upper back. Feels so good. And then taking it the other way. Now bringing those shoulders center and letting them relax onto our ribs. Finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide to the side. Keeping that width as we stretch our hands high. From here 8 times, gathering up the energy, inhaling. Exhaling as we offer it out. 8, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out, and holding warrior one. Legs with cactus arms. The elbows move back, the hands come with. That's right, rippling those fingers as we keep our hands supple. From here, feel free to grab a strap or a towel as we move towards our rainbow warrior, either clasping the fingers behind the back or using a strap or a towel to give yourself some more space with which to work. Shoulder blades back and down initially, open heart, open throat, and then finding your rainbow warrior as you take a deep dive inside the front leg. Take your time, find your feet. Once we're in the dive, I'll invite you to add a little shake of the head, releasing and relaxing any tension in the neck, either keeping it all about the head or adding the shoulders, the ribs, the hips, the legs, inviting any tension in your body to drain down into the ground. Try to relax that neck a little bit more if you can, Kathy. It's one of the other situations with sitting in a chair lie in front of a computer is that our necks tend to accumulate tension. Anytime you can release and relax that neck, awesome. Your neck appreciates it, as will the rest of your body. In our rainbow warrior, before we come up, I'll suggest a strong tuck of the chin, stretching up the back of our neck. Now coming on up, keeping that tuck. Now lifting the chin tall through the crown, we'll kick the back foot in and finding one long arm. So you want to narrow your stance just a tad, heel to arch alignment. You can work it a little wider. Finding our warrior 2. Lots of intention in all the fingers. Looking out past those front fingers with a steady, relaxed gaze. Keeping the knee of the front leg right over the heel and in line with the toes. You might go a little bit longer with that knee. There you go. From here, I'll invite you to paint rainbows, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, gathering up the energy. Exhaling warrior 2. Let's do that 8 times. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. And exhale. We're halfway done if you're working with us. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Last 2 here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in and holding the reverse warrior. Reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between each rib. Spreading your fingers wide as you mimic those ribs, finding more space in your hands. Breathing into all that space as we make ourselves bigger from the inside out. Turning our reverse warrior back into warrior 2. Transitioning to our triangle. Thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib. Take your time. Deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs. Making a choice as to where to put your bottom hand. If you don't have bricks, thumb in line with shin bone's a great choice. Otherwise, you've got bricks outside the calf. A little more foundation. Once you have that foundation, we can use that top hand to rotate the ribs. Use that top hand to open up that shoulder. And then stretching that hand high to the sky, choosing either to look down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky. Either keeping it between, they used to cue between panes of glass. That's not really great for the hips. You might have a little tilt to the hips. But either keeping a straight back or maybe turning into a little bit of a back bend if you're feeling super solid and stable in this shape. Awesome, that's such a beautiful triangle, Kathy. From here, moving towards our half moon, the triangle on one foot, top hand finds the hip. We can soften the front knee, either one big step or a couple of steps in, taking your base. Setting your base, right hand off to the right, with or without a brick. Make sure you have that foundation. Once you have the foundation, pouring weight into hand and foot as the back foot gets light. When you feel solid and stable, we can use that top hand to rotate our ribs, opening up shoulder, and stretching high to the sky. Classically, the back foot is flexed, so you should be feeling a nice flexed. Or you can do the point. But with a flexed back foot, were you to choose that option, you get a nice stretch in the Achilles tendon as you stretch along through that heel. And again, choosing to look down, very grounding, off to the side or up to the sky. That's right, I always have to adjust the frame on this one. I have more jobs, cameraman job too. There you go, you're right in the frame. Beautiful, look how nice that looks. From here, top hand comes back to the hip, softening the front knee. We're gonna take a big step back. From here, coming back to warrior two, one long arm. And then from warrior two, I'll suggest a big windmill of the arms as you stretch out your shoulders, spinning back heel up, coming towards your low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Take your time. How's your energy level this morning, Kathy?
Pretty good.
You want to play with a plank?
Sure.
All right, so inhaling forward to plank pose. And let's hold that for 5 or 6 long, slow breaths. Feeling that connection between head, hips, and heels. Connecting with a line of strength running through the center of yourself. Crown of the head stretching front, heels stretching back. Shoulders super, super engaged. Yeah, even engaging those arms, hugging muscle to bone, all the muscles of the arms. It's going to help keep those shoulders happy. Elbow muscles, wrist muscles, hand muscles. And in plank pose. Long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Exhale into that breath, navel to spine as you lift the hips high, bringing it back to down dog. And getting ready for our second side. Flow style, feet together, right leg high for the three-legged dog. Sorry, left leg high for the three-legged dog. Sorry about that, folks. Now finding a dragon dog, knee to nose to knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale it up. 2 more times. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. You might have to bring your whole body a little bit more forward, so more of a flat back. And then holding, that's it. There you go. It's a little bit of a difference, right? And then you're going to step that foot as far front as you can, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. Exhaling as you ground down through those feet. Yes, we have second side here, so we're going to bring hands back to hips. Either staying right here. Kathy tends to land a long stance straight off the bat. I tend to land a short stance, but I'll give you the opportunity to adjust your stance. So either maybe a little bit longer, and if you're a little too long, you can always shorten it. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front hip back, back hip front. They're not going to get there, but you want to feel that energetic action. Now 4 fingers find the tip of a thumb, stretching out our wrists as we try to touch the front of our wrists. Did we circle those bird beaks on the first side? No? Okay, so we'll bring the bird beaks onto our shoulders. We'll roll one shoulder front and then the other as we warm up our back. Great place to do this with one leg forward, one leg back. We've stabilized the low back. So you can go a little bigger in the action without fear of disturbing the sacrum. And then taking those circles the other way. Now we're going to steer those shoulders front and letting them relax onto our ribs. Now walking the fingers one over as we clasp the fingers behind the head, so it's the other clasp. And then pressing the head hard into the hands to open up heart and throat. Beautiful. Keeping that openness as we stretch those hands high. From here, pulling silk threads. We don't want to rip the threads. Breathing in as we gather the energy. Exhaling cactus arms. And we'll do that 8 times. You can feel a little back bend and a little bit of a rounding of the spine here. Let's do a couple more here. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in, breathing out, and holding warrior one. Legs with cactus arms. The elbows move back, the hands come with, and I'll invite you to ripple those fingers as you keep your hands simple. Where's that towel? All right. From here, moving towards our rainbow warrior from warrior one. Either clasping the fingers or grabbing a towel or a strap. And even if you can clasp the fingers and get lots of clearance, it's awesome to treat yourself with a prop, just to get a little more space with which to work. Shoulder blades back and down, open heart, open throat. We want to keep that as long as we can as we take that deep dive inside the front leg. Find your feet. And then once you're in the shape, letting that neck relax and letting that head be heavy. We can induce that relaxation with a little swing, a little sway. Either keeping it just about the neck or maybe the shoulders get involved. It's like you're trying to wiggle yourself into a wetsuit. For you surfers out there. Awesome. Try to let that neck relax. You tend to hold tension in your neck just yet.
I know.
Yes,
I
I can see it. Yes, and the neck doesn't. The neck doesn't keep us from falling. Our feet do. So work those.
So I
feet.
think it's actually maybe better for me in my case to relax my arms so my neck will relax.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Something to think about. All right. So strong tuck of the chin, stretching out your neck. We'll bring it on up. Lifting the chin tall through the crown. We'll loose the towel. We'll move towards warrior two. So one long arm. You might also kick that back foot in just a little bit. Warrior two has a little bit of a narrower stance. Classically, it's heel to arch. Warrior one's heel to heel. From here, lots of intentionality in those fingers. Looking out past those front fingers, both directions. Not looking out both directions, but looking past those front fingers with a steady area. Nice. Now you might take a look back there, see how that feels for your neck. Yeah, I'm gonna cue that today. Looks like does that feel pretty good?
Yeah, looking back, just
A nice
see
stretch,
your,
nice
check
stretch.
how your
Check
just
your
check
alignment.
check your length and your fingers, your intentionality.
Coming back to that forward glance, and we'll paint some rainbows. Straightening front leg without locking knee. Inhaling. Exhaling warrior two. We'll do that 8 times. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Halfway down if you're working with us. And last two. Keep it slow. Keep it fluid. Last one here. Breathing in and holding that reverse warrior. Reaching up higher. Reaching down further. Finding more space between each rib. And spreading your fingers wide as you find more space in your hands. And breathing into that space. Now turning our reverse warrior back into warrior two. And we'll transition to the triangle from here. Thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip. Take your time. But don't move. And then set, and base of rib. And now you want to deepen and lengthen. Now either bottom hand down in line with the thumb in line with shin bone as we wrap the calf. My favorite option is to grab a brick or two and bring it outside the calf. Once we have that foundation, we can use top hand to rotate rib. Top hand can open up shoulder. And then stretching high to the sky. Awesome. Depending on where you are, in the old days they said between two panes of glass. It's not really super great for the hips if you do a lot of these. So that top hip's going to be a little bit forward. You might think the panes of glass up here, that's a nice way to work it. But if you're feeling super solid and stable and you're fairly limber, as Kathy is, you might take it into a little bit of a back bend. Awesome, look at that. And of course, looking down, very grounding, off to the side less so, up to the sky, the most challenging. And if you pick an option and it's not quite right, you can always back off. From here, moving towards the triangle in 1 foot, the half moon, take your time. Top hand finds the hip. We're going to soften the front knee. Either one big step, a couple of steps in, set your base. Take your time. Once we have the base, you want to set hand and foot first. Once you have that base, pouring weight into hand and foot as the back foot gets light. We can rotate those ribs. We can open up that shoulder. We can stretch hand high to the sky. Classically, in BKS Iyengar's book, the back foot is flexed. You can play with that a little bit, but the flex foot does feel nice. Nice stretching Achilles tendon, along through the heel. Either looking down, off to the side, or up to the sky. And your base looks a little, I would say that probably should be a little bit more forward. Yeah, there you go. Oh, and I always forget to adjust the frame here, but let's see how beautiful this half moon is. Look at that. Beautiful view of the city. Beautiful, beautiful half moon. From here, coming down the hard way, hand finds the hip. We're going to take a big step back. Yeah. Try to find your warrior 2 length. And then finding your warrior 2, 1 long arm. I'll adjust camera one more time. Beautiful. And then from here, a big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders for low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Take your time. In down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you step. Or take a jump shot. Beautiful jump. Take a breath to find length as we arc. Exhaling, arching the spine as we fold. On the inhale, finding your flat back, knees over toes, hands overhead. Chair pose. Exhaling, taking it lower, more strength in your legs. On the inhale, rising on up, finding that back bend at the top. On the exhale, hands by your side, finding your flat back or neutral spine. I'll ask you to face camera, Kathy, as we bring hands to heart. This time, I'll invite you to add an isometric engagement. As we press those palms together, elbows wide. A tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, connected with the strength of our center. And let's do an interesting variation here. Rather than pressing the flats of 2 palms together, I'll invite you to find the tips of 10 fingers as we separate the palms. And notice how that changes the stretch. From here, I'll invite you to roll the hands over as we bring our hands by our sides. From here, let's find a flamingo. I'll cue right and left. I know it's a little weird on Facebook Live, but we'll shift weight to your right and we'll float the left foot up for our flamingo. Nice flat back here, a point to the toe, lifting that thigh high. Beautiful. From here, I'll invite you to find a standing half lotus as you flex the foot and park that ankle on top of the thigh, and then sitting down in an invisible chair. Either keeping hands on hips or hands find the heart. Either keeping hands on heart or a balance challenge here as we sweep the hands out to the side and then high to the sky for our flying standing half lotus. Choosing either to look down, very grounded, off to the horizon, or maybe thinking about looking up between those hands as if you're holding a large glass ball. Atlas on 1 foot. High hands come back to the heart. Hard hands become hip hands. Straightening the standing leg as we come back to our flamingo. And we want to use our belly, not our backs, as we take a bow to the knee, drawing energy into center without dropping the thigh, lengthening through the leg. Awesome. Yeah. Beautiful. Really feel that. Keep the shoulders well. Nice. From here, I'll invite you to flex the foot as we land a cross step. So cross that there, yeah. Find your balance. Arms out to the side. And then overhead, On the exhale, keeping the cross step as we find a forward fold. I'll adjust the camera, you stay right there. Feel free to grab some bricks or not. Take a breath to find length as you look up, arcing the back, and then arching the spine as you fold and hold. As we hold the cross step, any amount, I'll invite you to circle your hips, inviting more energy, more flow into those hips. And then taking those circles the other way. Now coming back to center, we're going to carefully unwind our legs as we find a low lunge. So Kathy's going to make an adjustment for the camera where she goes sideways. At home you stay just as you are. And from low lunge, I'll ask her to get to down dog as she will. So you're cycling through vinyasa, just stretching straight back. So let's add a twist to our dragon dog. Feet together, right leg high, high on the left toes. On an exhale, bringing right knee to right elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not, and inhale it up. Now finding a twist as you bring right to left, maybe give it a tap, maybe not, and then back up. Now bringing that knee center and holding as we squeeze ourselves tight. Yeah, you bring the body a little bit more forward. There it is. Feel the core engagement. And then stepping that foot as far front as you can as you spin the back heel down. Arms out to the side. And then overhead. Now I'm going to bring hands back to our hips, either staying here or lengthening your stance. Now right hand, that's front hip hand. We're going to anchor that hip. We'll find length on the far side, left side. Breathing in as we find length, straightening front leg without locking the knee. Exhaling, reach, reach, reach. We'll do that 8 times. Breathing in, reaching up. Exhaling, reaching out. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, reaching out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. We got 2 more to do here. Breathing in, lifting up, and reach, reach, reach. Exhaling, reaching out. Last one here. Breathing in, reaching up, and keep it a little more fluid. Yeah, don't be a robot person. And now you're going to find your twist. Sorry, I said that. That was a no CM. And then you're going to find, so sliding to the elbow, and then finding your prayer hands, either looking down off to the side or up past that top elbow. You're not a robot person, you're a real person.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're twisted, we're balancing, still finding a deep full breath. Trying to keep those toes relaxed. From here, coming out easily as we find our low lunge. Spinning back heel up, and then back to down dog, as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or just stretching straight back. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Equally long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you step, or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive, arcing the back. On the exhale, arching the spine as you fold. On the inhale, knees over toes, finding that chair pose. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, finding your back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by your side. I'll ask you to face camera. Hands find heart, awesome. This time intertwining the fingers, keeping the heels of the hands together as you try to pull those fingers apart. Shoulders engaged, a tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin. And the strength of your center. And then lifting the chin tall through the crown, releasing the fingers as we roll our hands over, hands by our side. So, I know it looks weird on Facebook. We're going to shift the weight to your left, and we'll find our flamingo on that second side. Beautiful. Put it right in the center of the frame here. Awesome. Yeah. Now from the flamingo, we've got a pointed toe. We're going to flex the foot as we find a standing half lotus, parking that ankle on top of the thumb. Sitting down in an invisible chair, you might bring hands to hips. That might help with the balance. Either keeping hands on hips or hands find the heart. Either staying here or sweeping the hands out to the side and then high to the sky. If you're flying half lotus, either looking down to the ground, off to the horizon, or up to the sky. If the pose feels wobbly, try rippling those fingers to stabilize the shape. High hands become hard hands. Hard hands become hip hands. We can straighten that standing leg as we come back to our flamingo. And we want to use our bellies, not our backs. So we'll take a little lean towards the leg. And we'll lengthen through the leg without dropping the thigh. Soft point to the toe. From here, flexing your foot as you land a cross step. Find your feet. Once you have your feet, arms out to the side and then high to the sky. And then leading with the heart as you find a forward fold. If your hands reach the floor, awesome. Otherwise, raising the floor with bricks. Relax neck, heavy head, letting those shoulders slide down towards the floor. As we hold the shape, I'll invite you to circle those hips any amount. Inviting in more energy, more flow. And then taking those hip circles the other way. Now at home, you're going to be able to find your lunge without shifting orientation. For the purpose of the camera here, Kathy's going to unwind her legs as she finds her lunge, and she'll go sideways, but at home you don't have to do that. Right in the center of the camera here. Awesome. From the low lunge, making her way back to down dog as you will. Garbage truck outside or something. Cement truck going up the hill, straining its engine. Awesome. So we're going to add that twist to that dragon dog. Feet together, left leg high, high on the right toes. Now bringing left knee to left elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not. And inhale it up. Now bringing left to right, give it a tap, maybe not. And then back up. Now bringing that knee center and holding for the inhale. And then lots of core engagement as we step that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead, warrior one. Bringing hands back to the hips, adjusting your stance if necessary, otherwise stay right there. Now left hand, front hip is going to keep that hip relatively stable. We'll find length on the other side. Straightening the front leg without locking the knee as we reach up. Exhaling as we reach out. We'll do that 8 times. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, reaching out. Inhaling, lifting up.
I might look like a robot, but I don't feel like a robot.
I would say like get a little more loose.
It's easier. I think you feel it inside.
You feel
your
it
body
inside?
doesn't do it. So I think it's a lot of just gentle practice.
Yeah. And you're even turning it into something else now, which is awesome.
See?
Yeah. Do a couple more times, why not? And there you go. Only have a smile on your face. And then we're eventually going to find that twist as we reach. We can start with the wrist. We can slide to the elbow. Finding prayer hands. Either looking down off to the side or up to the sky. And you're definitely not a robot. So Kathy is a real person.
May you open my door.
You want you're hot? That cement truck was loud.
Thank you.
Of course. We're twisted, we're balancing, we're still
If
breathing.
it's too loud, you can just...
That's all good. Part of the fun of real-time video. It's a real world. All right. Coming out of the twist easily. Hands frame front foot, finding low lunge. One last time today, back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. And if you're not there already, I'll invite you to find a child's pose, landing the knees lightly with a stack of soft fists, letting your forehead rest on those fists. As you gently rock yourself from side to side, Finding your belly breath, dropping your breath down. If your belly is smaller than mine, you don't feel that physical connection between thighs and belly, feeling that energetic connection. With every breath in, letting your belly massage your inner thighs. With every breath out, letting your inner thighs massage your belly. And again, if you have a small belly, that might not be happening physically, but still feeling that connection with the center of yourself. If you're fortunate to have a bigger belly, it feels pretty good. Now switching the cross of the fist, keep rocking it from side to side. And then I'll invite you to bring your feet off to one side as we come to a sit. I'll invite you to find a cross-legged sit as we face the camera. Feel free to pop up on a brick or a blanket. As we sit tall, I'll invite you to find a twist. Hand finds the floor, hand finds it in. Do you need another brick for your hand?
That'd be great.
Awesome. There you go. With every inhalation, sitting up a little taller. With every exhalation, finding a little twist. Putting that shoulder blade moving back onto the spine. Letting an inhale bring you through center. Let's twist it the other way. Feel free to bring that brick along. As we hold the stretch with every inhalation, sitting taller. Every exhalation, finding a little more twist. Staying grounded through both sits bones. So let the twist come from the ribs. Finding more freedom in that mid-back. Letting an inhale bring you through center. Let's switch the cross of the legs. And we'll twist it to that first side. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
You're reminding me that this is something I can do in a chair.
You
every
could do this in a
day,
chair, yes.
all day
I've been
long.
planning it out the whole session. Now letting an inhale bring you through center, and you'll find your twist the other way.
Many hours of this.
Yeah, you know, and we don't have time, but you could also do a nice side bend as you sit in your chair.
Or just when I'm standing up too.
Yeah. Letting an inhale bring you through center. Unwinding the cross of the legs, coming down onto your back. Different ways to do that. We don't have a lot of time. I'll try to keep it within the confines of what we said. So either a long, slow roll down, or you can just plop right down, really up to you. Full body stretch when you arrive. Finding more space in your body. And then keeping that sense of space as you find your Shavasana. Letting everything relax. Arms out to the side, the palms facing up. Scooting the head back as you flatten your shoulders. And we won't be here very long at all. At home, feeling free to stay here as long as you like. And I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. Moving our minds before we move our bodies. Bringing our attention back to our breath, watching as it flows in. Like watching a river as that river flows by. From a place of just watching your breath, I invite you to shape your breath, finding a long, slow breath in, followed by an even longer, slower breath out. Finding more relaxing breath with longer, slower exhalations. Keeping this more relaxing breath, inviting more energy into your body as you gently ripple your fingers and toes. Inviting that energy in towards center as you gently circle your wrists and your hands. Adding a little shimmer of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, whatever feels right in your feet. Connecting with your own innate sense of well-being. Pressing your back into the mat to support the action of the legs. As you draw one knee in, the other knee follows. Hands cap the knees. We can use our thighs to gently massage our low belly as we gently lift and lower the low back and hips. Front to back, side to side, little circles, whatever feels right and good for you. Keeping the knees close in. Reaching back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin, keeping the neck raised. So use your hand to do that. Keep your neck relaxed. Always helping your body out. Hand comes back to the knee or the shin. As we start to rock it front to back, back to front, massaging our spine. Feel free to catch the back of the thighs if you need a little more momentum. And then rocking on up to claim a cross-legged sit. Thank you for facing camera. As we sit, bringing hands onto knees. And this would be something you could do in a chair. Pressing down on your sits bones to lift the kidneys in and up. So you're going to find a sense of space in the low back. Pulling back with the hands to settle the shoulder blades back and down. Long through all sides of the neck with a soft tuck of the chin. I'll allow you to bring one hand onto the heart, the other hand on top. Ending our practice listening and feeling as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga. And as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world, the light within us honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank everyone at home for practicing with us. We had, looks like we had sparse attendance right now, but I know some of you all will watch it later on, which is awesome. Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me.
Thank you, Mark, for being an awesome teacher.
And thank you for being an awesome student. And as always, namaste, have a nice day, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you so much.